This is They're Good at That Shit, where I talk to different independent artists that are killing it in certain aspects of the game, pick their brain about that particular aspect. And the idea is that, independent musicians out there can see what, musician A is doing well, what musician B is doing well, C, D, kind of help put it all together. And hopefully somebody out there can take this and help propel their career forward. So joining me now, my brother from another mother, producer, singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, dope videographer, Mr. Roberto Horns. Appreciate you for being here, brother.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me. This is a dope idea. I wish there was more stuff. I wish there was more content for musicians that wasn't like, there's a lot of content for musicians that's like, big name musician, Timbaland or somebody, and they say, well, all you got to do is this. And I'm like, all right, bro. And then there's content from like, the people that you like haven't really heard of, but it's very theoretical. It's like, if you do this every day, you do this every day, then this will happen. I was like, but they haven't really done it themselves. They just kind of talk. So I like the idea of asking people that have done stuff or are doing stuff currently, and you maybe never heard of them, but they kind of show you some tips or whatever.
Exactly. That's definitely the point and the idea behind this. So there's several things to talk about with you. Number one, you spend a lot of time working with the president of TDE, who's SZA's manager. Helped discover Kendrick Lamar, Punch. So definitely want to talk to you about that. You have a couple songs on Spotify. One has 500,000 streams. Another one that's just under that. Want to talk about that. Your video content is dope as well. Want to talk about that, and then definitely want to talk a little bit about AI with you as well. We were talking about that offline just before we started, so I want to talk about that a little bit. So let's start with Spotify. So your song "Hunting Season," 500,000 streams. "Make Her Cry," just south of that. As an independent artist, like that's insane. And obviously, number one, have a dope song, but I think we know a lot of artists that have dope songs that don't have those type of numbers. So talk about, some things that you did to kind of help that go and get those numbers.
All right, so it's a combination of things. Some of it is nefarious, I guess that's the way to put it.
Okay.
Some of it's like cheating, and some of it is like just how it works. So the way you got to do it to get a lot of streams on Spotify, and it's the same way a big artist does it. You kind of got to trick the algorithm. So when you first get a song on Spotify, you want it to get as many streams as possible from as many different sources. And not that I know the tricks, by the way. This is just what's worked for me a couple times. It's failed a bunch of times too. But if you can get on playlists, even if they're smaller playlists, and if you can get a bunch of different people to stream your record, Spotify then recommends it to more people. When it's newer, they recommend it to more people as well, and they have a playlist called Discover Weekly. Mm-hmm. So if you put out a new song, let's say you got 100 monthly listeners or whatever, they'll send that song automatically to those 100 listeners on their Discover Weekly playlist when the first week it comes out.
Right.
But then the second week and the third week, it's out of there. No one cares. Spotify got a million other songs to promote to their people. So what I found is that if you can get people to continuously listen in that first month or so, and even if it drops off, every time you get like a little spike, Spotify will recommend it to more people. And Discover Weekly it's not a lot of streams from Discover Weekly, but it's kind of a way to gauge like how many people are listening the first time, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I say it's nefarious because you can kind of manipulate it yourself a little bit. Everyone knows you can buy streams or whatever. Like, that's not a secret anymore. Like, there's ads on Instagram literally saying, hey, buy streams. And so, like, a long time ago when I first started doing it, I maybe bought, like, some streams, like, one time. But I realized what was happening. So, at first I didn't realize I was buying streams. I was like, oh, I'm going to get put on a playlist. And you pay somebody $300 and they get you like 20,000 streams. And then, so I'm like, oh, that's cool. But then I realized after that happened, after those 20,000, Spotify was actually recommended to more people. So if you if you can get, like I said, so that's kind of like the trick. If you can get people to listen to your songs and put it on playlists and get like a large number up front, Spotify recommends them more. It's kind of like this snowball effect after that. But honestly, that's kind of it. That's like the only trick. It is like trying to figure that out. But mostly at the beginning when it first comes out is when it's new. Spotify kind of loses interest after it's new.
Yeah, I've tried, some of those things like, where people are like, hey, yeah, get on this playlist, and, pay us this amount, which a lot of times I feel like, sometimes I feel like those are going to be like just bot streams. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Whereas like I found like sites like Submit Hub, for example, seem to be like, okay, these are real playlists with real streams. So, I think it's like kind of what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, at least in my experience. But I feel like getting the real streams from like Submit Hub or whatever, in the long run, I feel like because that's like an actual person that can potentially like become a fan.
Yeah.
But then also though, like kind of what you were talking about though, is like if you get like a lot of streams up front, then Spotify is gonna push it to more people. Right. Essentially, what you're saying.
So if somebody was like, "Hey, teach me how to get a lot of streams," I would say, do whatever you can. Even you got to spend money. Try not to buy like bot streams, but whatever you got to do to like spend some money, even you got to like buy ads on Facebook or whatever. Try to get as many streams as you can that first couple weeks, because then you kind of have set a baseline of like people listening to it. And I think like I don't know, I don't work for Spotify. I don't know how algorithms work. I'm not a software engineer or anything, but I think then they push it to more people, and then it can like kind of take off that way. Another cool thing I've done. This isn't specifically for Spotify, but a way to get a bunch of people to listen to your thing the first week. I've paid people to tweet my record out before. I paid people. I got like 700 followers on Twitter. I paid people that got like 40,000 followers. You send somebody $100 and they'll tweet anything. Honestly, like people don't make a lot of money on social media, but they got a lot of following and they got a lot of people that like listen to everything they say. So we'll get to my video content, but I make cool videos and I'll pay like this people specifically that I won't mention, but who are like popping now actually. That I've paid like $100 here and there to tweet my videos out, and literally within like a day you'll have 20,000 views on it. And all those don't go directly to Spotify, but if 10% of them click on my song on Spotify, that's 2,000 people to listen to my song one time on Spotify, and that will trick the algorithm. Oh, he got 2,000 different people to listen to a song, and so there you go. So it's like it's not rocket science. It's kind of the same way the record labels do it. They just have a lot more money. So, if they have $100,000 versus $100, they can get 200,000 people to listen that first time, or because they can just get it popping up everywhere, and eventually you might click on it after you see it a million times. So I think that's kind of like the game right now is like getting people's eyes on it. Hopefully it's good, or it sounds good, or it looks good, or something catchy about it. Getting that initial click, and that initial click will trigger more clicks later.
Yeah, and something you said that's I think is key too, because like I feel like the bot streams a lot of times, like Spotify starting to recognize those is like, and so Spotify knows those are bot streams, and so at least I read somewhere that Spotify may not recognize those even and put because
they starting to take people's songs down now. Yeah.
So yeah, anything you can do to get people like real eyes on it, real fans, the real listeners, I think will be key. Talk about, you've done some interesting like promo boxes and things like that you've sent to people. Things like that to help kind of promote the song. Like talk about that too.
Actually, can I grab one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me show you.
Yeah.
So for the song hunting season specifically, I made you can't see it, maybe you can, but it's the Jägermeister bottle, and I made the album cover, the front cover of the Jaeger bottle. So it says hunting season instead of Jägermeister, and this is like the album cover. And so this was in my actual music video, and So I'm always like interested in like, I grew up in a time when people would go to the store and buy CDs and buy things, and it kind of had like it was like a different feeling when you can hold something and when you purchase something
Sure.
versus when it's just in your phone, and it feels more disposable then. So a couple of songs ago, before the pandemic, so maybe like 5 years ago at this point, I had a song called Body Wash. So I like ordered some like custom body wash from this site in like a giant gallon tub, and I sent it to all my friends and fans like with like some stickers promoting my concert I had coming up. So I did the same thing with this time with hunting season. So I got these mini Jaeger bottles with actual Jaeger in it with the album cover on it, and then I got like stickers, and I got refrigerator magnets with my show date on it with a QR code to buy tickets from the show. I got stuff from my older songs in here. And then to go with the theme of the song, if you see the video, you'll understand. It got binoculars, and then it's got a camouflage like bandana in there. So, that's like a lot. And, let's say each of these boxes cost me $5 to produce, but I'm sending it for free to people to promote my music and to promote my work. And then in turn, those people usually get the box. They tweet about it. They show the picture. I get to retweet it. I get to repost and use it for content. And then people see it like, oh, that's really dope. It's really cool. Can I get one of those? I'm like, yeah, go to my website and buy one. Or go to this link and click the song and see the video. So it's all a combination of like, but this specifically, I do it because I like doing creative stuff. And it's a way to kind of not trick people, but like really get people to come to my shows. I don't do a lot of shows, so when I do it, I want to have a lot of people there. So I'm sending out like personal invitations. I'm sure I got it from somebody like big, like Beyonce, who sends people like big trunks full of clothes and stuff. But I was like, oh, if I can send them like a personal invitation, like with like cool stuff in it that they would like actually repost, then that's kind of the idea of that.
That's dope. And you mentioned maybe like $5 a box, which I mean, for some people can look at that and be like, and think it's like, cost prohibitive, but, or that the cost would be prohibitive. But, I think, it's something cool, it's something different, it's something unique, that you can do. And I mean, especially if you kind of reward like those people who are, coming to your shows already, or who have been like supportive fans, I feel like that'll be a cool thing, for them.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody's budget is different. I don't have a crazy budget. $5 a box is a lot. Like if you're making 100 of them, that's a ton. Sure. But I bring things back out because this is a refrigerator magnet, and these are stickers, and these literally cost like, you can create your own refrigerator magnets on like some websites for like, you can get like 200 for $70 or 200 for like $50. And every time I go to my friends' cribs, these are on their refrigerators. And I go to studios I've been in, it's on the refrigerator. At my job, my 9-to-5 job, it's on the refrigerator. And so it ain't like a giant deal, but it's also branding. It's like, they're all in my fridge here. They're everywhere. So it's like, and it's not weird to have a refrigerator magnet on. So it's like, yeah, the big version of what I'm doing is expensive, but you can find creative ways to get people to promote your stuff kind of subconsciously, and not it be like super expensive.
Absolutely. No, I like that. I've done like writing pens before with my logo, my Instagram on them, and I think it's cool. Like anytime you pull out that pen, maybe you say, oh yeah, I remember this dude. I saw him. He was dope. And then maybe it's a trigger to like maybe go check out the music, because I feel like a lot of times what can happen is like, even if you're like, you go to somebody's show and you're like, man, that was dope. You go on with your life, and you might forget. So if you give them something to, be that trigger later on, maybe they'll go listen to something. Or like you said, I love the refrigerator magnet because, you're at home, you're cooking, whatever. You're like, oh yeah, that dude's show was dope. Let me go check that out.
Yeah, I always told myself, if like I had a bunch of money and I wanted to start a business, I would try to start a business that like that people have to use every day. So I was like, I would try to start like a toilet paper business or something that like people would like need, like it's kind of a necessity. So I kind of feel the same way about music, or at least promoting of the music. So you go to your refrigerator every day. you write every day if you got a job. So it's like the pen in the refrigerator magnet makes sense. Keychain, if you use your keys every day, giving somebody a keychain and put in their keys, they're gonna see your face or your whatever every day. So little stuff like that, it may seem dated, honestly, because we don't use physical stuff. Everything's in our phone. Some people don't even have keys. Some people, the key is their phone. Sure. But I think little stuff like that is tangible and stuff you have to see and touch every day works really well.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about your video content. You've done some music videos for me.
Yeah.
People have seen like the Freeway music video where I'm like disappearing, reappearing, all that kind of stuff. Like you shot and edited that. But I mean, you've been doing that kind of stuff for years, honestly. And it's really dope and creative and unique. Talk about, as an independent artist, sometimes it can be overwhelming to start a new skill or a new thing like that. I guess talk about like kind of what led you into like doing video and like getting really good at it and like kind of that journey, I guess.
Yeah, man, the video stuff happened. All of this stuff happened kind of as a necessity to keep creating. For a long time, I was trying to be, or I was pursuing a career as a songwriter and producer only. And all that requires, a bunch of, yeses and validation from other people, record labels, A&Rs, artists. So when I'm trying to write songs for Kelly Clarkson or Maroon 5 or whoever, you just getting told no all day. And so it kind of stifles your creativity. You end up trying to like make stuff for other people, but it doesn't feel like authentic. I got to a point where I was like, well, I'm just going to try to be an artist myself. I had all the tools. I can record myself, I was producing myself anyway. So, and with that, I was just like, well, I got to make music videos. This was, almost 10 years ago. And luckily, my homeboy, Jason, had moved to LA to become like a film director. So he had bought like a Canon 6D, which at the time was a pretty nice DSLR camera. Now cameras, there's so much camera technology moves super fast. But so he had bought this camera. We were gonna make movies, and I was like, well, let's make my first music video, because it's kind of around the same time. And just like my music, just like anything I'm doing, I'm trying to stand out. And so I just kind of figured out how to do like some cool effects in the first video, and it took off. And it was the first thing I did, and people liked it. And I got on this website called Young Hollywood, who they interview celebrities and stuff. And from then on, I was like, all right, that's my style. I got a style of music video. I'm doing like special effects and cool stuff that I don't see in other people's things. And it just worked for me. Getting good at it, like anything else, just took a lot of reps. But I find that when you're doing stuff that's really different, I always say different is better than good a lot of times. So yeah, if you see my like special effects in my first music video, they don't look like, Steven Spielberg's movies, but they're so different looking. They like, damn, that's kind of fly. Like that, he did that. You can tell it's low budget. He's like, damn, he kind of did that shit kind of fly. Mm-hmm. And so just because it stands out. So I think when you're trying to learn something, just go for it and go kind of just go as hard as you can with your budget. And yeah, and then it'll work out probably.
I feel like something you just said was a bar, because I feel like a lot of times we hold ourselves back because we're like, oh, I don't have this big budget to do this thing, or I don't have this, I don't have that. And then, or we're waiting until we get to Steven Spielberg level to put out the video. And it's like, you're never gonna grow into the Steven Spielberg if you don't just start creating and
Absolutely.
putting stuff out there. And you know what I mean? Like, I feel like part of being an artist is being vulnerable and just putting things out there,
Well, yeah, so a couple things. Everybody's first thing is trash. Everybody's first song is trash. Everybody's first video is trash. Everybody's first, joke is trash. Whatever you're doing, everybody's first podcast, like everything you do the first time is going to be pretty terrible. But, you do 10 of them. Now, damn, I kind of got better at that real quick. Number two, I would say I learned really early, because I've been in the music industry a long time. I learned really early, and it's a good thing and a bad thing for me because I become kind of selfish, I guess. But I've learned that I've tried my best to make myself a one-stop shop where I don't have to rely on anybody else. Meaning, I learned how to play guitar because I didn't want to have to pay a guitar player. And I realized that if I could do it myself, then I'm more valuable. Same thing with the video. Same thing with like I do like animation, like kind of do like learn stuff to like a certain level to where you don't need anybody else. And then you can just do it yourself for the rest of your life. You know, it might take 2 or 3 years, but then you got 40 more years of being able to play guitar. That being said, I always say this, and I've said this to you when we were making videos. Let's think of what we could do with this video if we had $1 million. What's the idea? If we had $1 million, how could we execute this video? And then let's try to get that result. We're not going to get that result, but we might get to the result where it looks like we had 200,000, which is an incredible result. So that's how I kind of look at video content specifically and like learning new skills too.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and that could apply to any skill, like to anything like your job. Like if you learn multiple skills at your job, then you make yourself more valuable.
Yeah.
So that, you know, kind of applies with anything. So that's definitely dope. What else? It was something else you said that I was gonna.
I know we're talking about videos and I don't know.
What's the last thing you just said? I mean, it was something you just said, and I
said learn stuff yourself. I said pretend like you have a big budget and stuff.
Yes, that was it. That's what I was going to talk about. Yeah, I definitely like think like that in my like in terms of like my videos too, or like whatever I'm doing. Like, okay, what's the idea? Like, regardless, and then like, okay, now how can I do that with what I have? You know,
I remember that idea came from. So I got the third video I did. Maybe the second one was called Working Out. It's a song I have called Working Out. And it's kind of like a metaphor for like a relationship and also like actually working out in the gym. And I was talking to the homie Jason, who I used to do all my videos with. And I was like, for the opening shot, I want to have like a drone shot or like a shot coming in between like 2 skyscrapers and me doing pull-ups on like a power line between 2 skyscrapers. And we're like, what? I was like, that'd be crazy, right? He's like, yeah, it'd be crazy. Can we do it? And then we didn't pull it off, but the opening shot of that video is going down like the LA River. And then I'm doing pull-ups off the side of a bridge. And we figured it out. It looks dope. And people still talk about that video to this day. Matter of fact, I haven't posted that video in a long time. I got to post that again because a lot of my new followers haven't seen it. But, you know, stuff like that is like we got a drone. And I learned how to do the effects in After Effects. It looked shitty for like 2 weeks. And I finally got it right. Yeah. And back then drones were expensive. Now drones are like $200, like 4K drones. So it's like, you can do everything you want to do with technology now. It's like, there's really no excuse to not doing stuff if you really want to do it. I'm not saying you got to be a content creator. We'll get to that too. And like post every day and do all that stuff. But if you want to be creative and like make dope shit, it's possible to do for really cheap.
Yeah. And so talking about the video work, it was your video stuff that kind of led to you working with Punch, right?
Absolutely. So I was getting, we had a pandemic and I wasn't really working. I was kind of at the crib all day and I started just getting video gigs through Twitter. Like I said, a lot of my videos have special effects and stuff in it or visual effects. And so it makes the reel just look really unique. You take like the best couple clips or best couple effects from all my videos and kind of combine it into a reel. People see it and like, wow, this guy's incredible. And so I was getting gigs. I got hired to do a couple things from some other people. One thing through Amazon. And I shot a commercial. So one day I was following Punch because Sis is like my favorite artist. And he had mentioned something about shooting a movie. And so I just sent my reel to his Twitter in the replies and said, hey, let me edit the video or let me edit the movie. And he DM'd me like, this is dope. And I was like, cool. You got any more stuff? And I sent him my music videos, like 3 of them. And he was like, yo, come to my office. And I was like, cool. And he was like, your music really dope too. I was like, got your ass. But I was excited. I went up there and I started, that was 3 years ago and I've been working with him ever since. I do music with him. I write, produce, sing, rap, and then I also do a lot of their video content. I've done some cool video content with SZA before. It's kind of everything. So, but the group that Punch works with every day is called A Room Full of Mirrors. It's like 8 to 10 musicians on any given day, mostly rappers, but kind of all producers, all visual artists, all graphic designers. Everybody's super creative, and I'm part of that crew. And so we just go in there and rock out every day and make really cool shit. And so far this year, we put out a song every Monday, either as a group or individually, somebody from the group, for the past 6 months, and planning on going all year. So yeah, that's what's going on with A Room Full of Mirrors and me and TDE.
Dope. Yeah, so just to, again, reminder, Punch, president of TDE, Scissors manager, worked with Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, like all these like big artists. And I think one thing that's important is like, you shot your shot. You know what I mean? I think like, okay, we could hear somebody like that, like, oh shit, like there's no way he's gonna respond to me on Twitter. So then we don't message him a lot of times. But you just message it, you just hit him up. And I think that's really dope. Like that you weren't afraid, you just shot your shot.
Yeah, man, I think the pandemic changed a lot for everybody. Like we were talking before, like everybody's a content creator now, everybody has a podcast now, everybody has a thing now. But I think that kind of stemmed from the pandemic. Everybody was like, it's time to like be our own people, build our own companies and build our own shit. Mm-hmm. And the pandemic, like, number one, it just like I wasn't working my 9 to 5, and so I was at home, and I was like looking for like video gigs, and it started working, and so I was like, oh shit, like I can actually like have a career in this like video thing on top of the music thing too. So that was specifically born out of the pandemic, me shooting my shot on Twitter to people to get them to hire me for things, and it worked out really well.
Dope. Yeah, I think that's again, it's just a good lesson for everybody. Like don't be afraid to shoot your shot.
I still do it, bro. I spend a lot of time on Twitter. It's my favorite social media thing. I see people that like shoot for like the biggest artists in the game, and they be replying to people's DMs and Twitter stuff to get jobs. The other day I saw a dude that wrote a lot of Justin Timberlake's last album, King and Dixon. He was like, send me beats. I sent him some beats. I'm waiting to hear back. So it's like, you never know, bro. If you're good and you're really, really good, it might work out for you. It might not be like, you might not make $1 million, but I shot a commercial via Twitter for Dell, the computer company, with some celebrities in it. I paid a bunch of money for like a 1-day gig. Now it's in my reel. It's like, it's a big thing. Just like, yeah.
So yeah, you never know. Just try it out, and like it could work out.
Yeah.
But you don't know unless you do it.
For sure.
Unless you shoot the shot.
But get good first.
Right. But yeah, that's part of like constantly work on your craft, and then don't be afraid to put stuff out there. But like,
and make it stand out. That's not that I'm like I'm not amazing at any of this shit. I just specifically and purposely make my shit look different, make my songs sound different, make my videos look different. And I think that's gotten me farther than just being like exceptional at like, I'm exceptional at working. I'm exceptional at trying and like getting better, but no one hears me singing like that guy's incredible. But I'm working.
Yeah, I love that. I'm kind of the same way too. Like I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna like constantly work, and I'm gonna try to like do things in a different way than what other people are doing. I definitely wanted to talk to you also about AI, because we had talked about that before. Like I was over here, maybe last week, and we're working on, through your, connection with Punch or whatever. Sometimes you'll, write things for other artists, and like so we were like working on something to try to give to Sweetie's camp, and obviously neither one of us are a female, and we wanted to try to do a demo that that Sweetie's people could hear and envision her, singing it. And so you like use the AI tool to make our voices sound like a woman, and like sound like a woman singing hip hop. And like, so I feel like a lot of artists would like hear that, and there's like the purists out there, and they're like, nah, and they're like afraid of AI is like taking musicians' jobs. Like before we would have had to, get a a woman that we know to come sing these parts or come do these parts or whatever. But I mean, we're working on this. It's like 10, 11 o'clock at night. We're not like, we don't have anybody there. We're trying to turn this in the next day. So I mean, my thing is like AI is the next wave. Like that wave is coming. So like, I feel like you can either learn how to surf, or the wave's gonna crash over you, and you'll get buried by it. So, what are your thoughts on that? And
yeah, that specific thing. It's just that's the first thing I thought of when I saw the AI stuff come out. Like I said, I started as a songwriter, and as a songwriter, you write a song, you record it, and you make a demo, and you try to make it sound as close to the actual artist as possible. So when they hear it, they're like, okay, I can record this song. So if I'm writing a song for Mary J. Blige, I'm gonna get a soul singer to come sing the record, and so I can pitch it, and like this is how it sound if Mary J. sings it. I've been doing that for almost 20 years, and for 18 of those years, I had to hire a singer, or I had to co-write it with a woman I think could sing it or whatever. Now, like you said, we wrote a song, and in 10 minutes, we had it sounding like a female rapper from our voices. So, yes, it took away a job from a potential singer or a writer, but it made us 10 times more efficient. And unfortunately, that's just how technology works. Like we can't be like, we're filming this literally on phones right now. We can't be like, we cost Canon money because we didn't buy a Canon camera. We someone that works in the Red factory couldn't make a Red camera so it's like, it's technology. It's gonna keep moving forward, and you can use it to your advantage, or you can get left behind. Honestly, AI is tricky because AI is a broad term for just the next wave of technology. But I think if in the wrong hands, like any technology, it's a mess.
Sure.
We all got cameras on our phone. We walk around filming everybody. Nobody wants to be filmed all the time. So we're respectful. Mm-hmm. Same way we got recorders on our phone. We don't know if there was conversations recorded all the time. So you be respectful. Same thing with AI. It's like, don't break any laws. Don't do something without anyone's consent. I remember there was Taylor Swift porn floating around a year ago, whatever. I didn't see it. I didn't see anything. But just be respectful. Don't break any laws. Don't harass anybody. Don't do nothing crazy. But if you want to use it to your advantage to make your stuff better, or make your songs better, or make your videos better or less expensive, go for it.
Yeah. We were talking beforehand. There's a lot of apps out there that can make you more productive, more efficient, and all of those things. So yeah, I think it would definitely be to anyone's advantage to take advantage of these tools, especially there's things as an independent artist that we need to do to promote ourselves that we don't necessarily like to do. I think most of us would rather focus on creating music. But you have to be on social media, and you have to, create content. You have to do all these things. You have to market and promote and all of this. So, I mean, you might as well use some of the tools out there that, can help you. The other day, I'm trying to come up with ideas for a show that I'm about to put on, a showcase, and I'm like, Chat GPT, blah, blah, blah. And and it spit back some good ideas for me. So I'm like, oh shit, this is this can actually help me, just be better, be more efficient.
Bro, simple as lyric videos. Lyric videos used to take a long ass time. Now it does it for you. You hit the button and it transcribes your lyrics for you. They mess up a lot of them, but you go in there and fix it. It takes 5 minutes as opposed to having to type every lyric, line it up perfectly. It's a new world with the technology stuff, but if you know how to use it, if you just try to use it and use it to your advantage to make your life easier, it's worth it for sure.
Absolutely. I think that's it, man. Any final thoughts for the people,
that's
man?
That's it, bro. We ain't even. Come on, man.
No, wait. Okay, what about leaving out? What else do you got to say to the people? Is there any anything that any advice, any tips, you need to know this?
I don't have any real advice for anybody. I I feel like I do have a lot of gems to share with people. I guess it will require a specific question.
Oh, you said now it's my fault. I didn't ask the right question. Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess we can be done then.
All right. Yeah, appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, I'll catch you later, man.
That's what's up. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for checking out They're Good at That Shit. If you like what you heard, definitely hit that like button. If there was something that you learned, let us know what you learned in the comments. And if there's something that you didn't learn that you wished you would have learned, then put that in the comments as well. We can use that to make these episodes better going forward. And hit the notification button so you can get notified whenever we drop new episodes. I'm Broadway, and we'll catch you next time on They're Good at That Shit.